The king of the sun is about to learn that even gods can be eaten. Imagine a kingdom where the light never reaches the floor. A place where the air itself feels like wet will shove down your throat. This is not a migration. This is an execution. The Serengeti is a stage for glory. But the Amazon? The Amazon is a factory for ghosts. Evolution is a cruel, calculating master. It forges the ultimate killer for a specific kind of violence. In the golden grass of Africa, the lion reigns supreme. He is a sun-drenched god of war, designed for open slaughter and brutal, loud dominance. But what happens when you trap a god in a labyrinth he cannot understand? 6,000 miles from sanctuary. No horizon. No escape. This is the green hell. The Golden King versus the Amazonian Ghost. Day 1. A unit of 6. 1 alpha male. 5 hunters. In any other world, this is the ultimate kill squad. But in this tangled, dripping web, their power, their sheer, massive size is their death sentence. On the plains, the horizon is a promise. You can see your enemy coming from miles away. You can feel the wind. But here, the wind is dead. The Amazon is a suffocating tomb. 90% humidity. The air is heavy enough to choke on. Every breath is a struggle. Look at the male. Look at that magnificent, heavy mane. In Africa, it is a symbol of status. Here, it is a wet, matted shroud. Lions pant to survive. They dump heat through their mouths. But in this green furnace, the heat doesn't leave. It clings. It festers. He is boiling from the inside out. His heart rate is climbing, even while he stands perfectly still. The fever is taking hold of his brain before he has even sensed a threat. He is a high-performance engine, redlining in a closet. In the light, the pride flanks. They use geometry. They use the line of the horizon to pin their prey. It's a war of formations. But the Amazon is a vertical prison. The prey isn't in front of them. The tapir, the capybara. They are shadows that dissolve into the undergrowth. Or worse, they are above them. The canopy mocks them. The lions are trapped on the muddy floor, looking up at a feast they cannot reach. Starving in the dark. Old instincts are failing. They try to surround a scent, but the terrain won't allow it. There is a fallen mahogany tree the size of a building. There is a wall of vines that cuts like piano wire. Every step costs 10 times the energy it would on the savannah. Failure. A tapir blinks, and it is gone. It doesn't run, it simply vanishes into the gloom. The lions are left gasping. Hollow. In the open air, a missed kill is just a delay. In these shadows, where every movement drains the battery, a missed kill is a grave being dug. Then comes the night. And with the night, the true nightmare awakens. Something is watching. Not from the bushes, but from the void itself. Panthera onca. The jaguar. Do not mistake them for cousins. The lion is a soldier. The jaguar is an executioner. A lion strangles its prey, a slow, communal effort of suffocation. But the jaguar? The jaguar doesn't have time for games. It crushes the skull. It pierces the brain with a single, surgical strike. It is a phantom made of muscle and spots, and it has just caught the scent of intruders. The male lion feels the pressure. He does what a king does. He roars. A sound that usually commands the world for 5 miles in every direction. But here, the dense, rotting vegetation smothers the sound. It hits the trees and dies. And worse, he didn't command anything. He just rang a dinner bell for every monster in the dark. He is announcing his location to an enemy that doesn't care about his crown. Lions understand armies. They understand the strength of the pack. But jaguars? Jaguars understand murder. The jaguar knows it cannot fight 6 lions in a fair brawl. So, it waits. It watches the formation fracture. It waits for the moment the heat and the hunger turn the lion's coordination into desperation. Paranoia is a slow poison. On the ground, the lion is still a beast of incredible power. But the enemy refuses to be seen. The pride is rattled. They hear a branch snap above. They see a pair of amber eyes reflect for a microsecond before disappearing. They are breathing. For now. But the psychological torture is taking hold. For the first time in 10,000 years of evolution, the lions realize they are the prey. The seasons turn. The skies open. This isn't rain. This is a deluge. The earth beneath their paws turns to liquid. The Amazon becomes a drowning pool. For a jaguar, this is a playground. They are the most aquatic of the big cats. They move through the water like oil. But for a lion, this is the abyss. They have no choice. To eat, they must cross the rising tributaries. They must wade into a kill zone that makes the crocodile-infested Nile look like a sanctuary. Something ancient stirs beneath the silt. The Black Caiman. 20 feet of prehistoric armor and pure, cold-blooded malice. In Africa, lions have land to flee to if the river gets too dangerous. Here, there is no shore. There is only more mud, more roots, more water. The jaw force of a Black Caiman rivals that of a Tyrannosaurus rex. Beneath the surface, the lion has no leverage, no footing, no crown. He is just 300 pounds of floating meat. The water ripples. A tail moves like a serpent. The lion doesn't even see the snap coming. He just feels the world turn upside down as he is dragged into the cold, dark silence of the riverbed. If they survive the crossing, the damage is already done. The blood bond of the pride begins to fracture. In the light, they are a family. In the dark, survival is stolen, not shared. The alpha can no longer provide. He is a liability. He is too big to hide and too slow to catch the agile ghosts of the jungle. The ultimatum is silent, but it is absolute: change or perish. The pride begins to unlearn its very nature. The roaring stops. You cannot afford to be heard. The open formations vanish. You cannot afford to be seen. They begin to embrace the silence. The agonizing patience of the still hunter. The male lion falls back. He is the first to suffer. He is too large. His mane catches on every thorn. He is too loud. The females, now thinner, their ribs showing like the hulls of wrecked ships, take the lead. They are becoming shadows. They manage to feed, finally. A small deer. But look closely at their eyes. The dynasty is dissolving. The jungle cannot sustain a kingdom. There is no room for a king here. To survive this hell, the family structure must be destroyed. One by one, they drift apart. The pride is a luxury of the plains. In the Amazon, you are an island. The king is eventually deposed. Not by a younger rival, but by the forest itself. Stripped of his harem, stripped of his light, the male becomes a ghost. He is no longer royalty. He is just another desperate heartbeat in the blackness, scavenging for scraps left by the jaguar. He watches the jaguar from the shadows. He sees how the spotted ghost moves. No wasted energy. No pride. Just lethal efficiency. Could lions survive the Amazon? Perhaps. Yes. But they would not remain lions. To live here, they would have to wither. They would have to darken. They would have to learn to love the mud and the silence. Evolution would slowly, painfully twist them. Their bodies would shrink to navigate the dense brush. Their manes, those glorious symbols of power, would fall away, lost to the rot and the heat. Their golden coats would dull into a cryptic, mottled brown. The roar would die in their throats, replaced by a hiss or a sharp, short bark. The pride would vanish into history. The king of beasts can conquer the world. But the Amazon is not the world. It is a digestive system. And it only allows you to stay if you agree to become a part of the shadows. To survive the green hell, the lion must do the one thing his ego cannot handle. He must destroy himself first. Now, listen to the jungle. The wind has stopped. The dripping has begun. Somewhere in that wall of green, a golden eye is turning black. The transformation is beginning. And the jaguar. The jaguar is simply waiting for his new brother to learn the rules of the dark. In the Amazon, there are no kings. There are only those who are hidden. And those who are dead. Which one are you? The silence is the last thing you'll hear. Not a roar. Not a scream. Just the sound of the leaves closing behind you. Welcome to the end of the line. Welcome to the tomb of the sun. Look into the dark. Can you see him? He doesn't look like a lion anymore. He looks like a nightmare that's finally found its home. The crown is gone. The mane is matted with blood and silt. But he's still there. Watching. Waiting. Learning how to kill in the dark. The sun is never coming back. And neither is he. The jungle doesn't care about your legends. It doesn't care about your bloodline. It only cares about how much you're willing to give up to see tomorrow. The lion gave up everything. His pride. His name. His soul. And in return, the Amazon gave him a new name. The Ghost of the Mud. Sleep with one eye open. Because the king has learned how to walk without making a sound. And he's very, very hungry. The golden era is over. The era of the shadow has begun. Can you hear it? Exactly. Neither can his prey. The transition is complete. The sun god is dead. Long live the monster.